Welcome to Ekcel Academy's CSEET revision classes based on e-bulletin released by the Institute. We have covered up to September month, that is 2021. And if you have noticed, in the last few months, the Institute has increased the number of questions which are there in the CSEET e-bulletin. So we have gone in reverse order so that it will be helpful for you since we'll be covering more and more questions. If at all you have any doubts with regard to this video, you can always drop a comment below in the description, and this will be the part 1 of the video. Part 2 will be uploaded tomorrow. Now let's look at the first question. We have a question based on the numbers. They say there are 295 pens which are divided amongst boys and girls. So that means girls plus boys. But let's read the question first. 295 pens are divided among some boys and girls whose total number is 50. That means we have 50 girls and boys. So can we write that as G plus B, G for girls and B for boys, totals to 50. And they also say that each boy gets 5 pens and each girl get 8 pens. So that means here it would be 8G plus 5B. In total, how many pens? 295 pens. Now with this equation, we need to identify the number of girls in this class. So we have two variables here, G and B, and we have two equations, equation 1 and equation 2. We can easily solve this simultaneous equation by bringing common numerals. So to do that, what I will do is I will multiply this first equation by 5 first. So that will be 250, 5 into 5, 25. So 5G, then 5B. So now we have 5B in common. So this whole equation will be subtracted from the first one. So therefore the sign also changes. So 295 minus 50 would be 45. 8G minus 5G would be 3G, and 5B plus and 5B minus gets cancelled. So now we have 45 equals 3G. So G would be 45 divided by 3, which will be 15. So the number of girls in this class is 15, and boys would be the remaining, that is 50 equals 15 girls plus number of boys. So if you take out the B to the left hand side and 50 to the right hand side, you will end up with 35 as the number of boys. So that was easy. Based on simultaneous equation, we had to solve this question. Now let's move on to the next question, which is related to blood relations. They say Rahul and Sanjay are the sons of sister of Mukesh. How is the only son of Mukesh related to Sanjay? Okay, let's write down the name so that it's easy for us to identify who is who. We have Mukesh. Then his sister has two children who are Rahul and Sanjay. Then Mukesh has one son. Now Mukesh and sister obviously siblings, and son of Mukesh is the cousin of Rahul and Sanjay. So that was very simple. Now they have asked the relationship between Sanjay and son of Mukesh. So we can easily pick cousin as the answer. So is cousin one of the options? Of course, yes. Option A would be the right answer. Now we have another question based on numbers, which is very similar to the first question which we solved. So I will not be solving this. Consider this as homework, and please do let us know the answer. The question is the number of girls. Once again, you'll have to identify how many girls are there in the class. Very similar to the first one. Please try to solve this. If at all you have any doubts, please do ask the same in the description below. Let's move on to the next one then. Choose the word which is not similar to the other words in the group. Now this is nothing but odd man out. So this is something which you would be familiar with, wherein we'll have to identify the characteristics of the words in the group, and one of the words will not have that characteristics. So the words being CPU, then we have keyboard, a mouse, and a digital pen. Okay. Now we know these are all nothing but the accessories of a computer. So even though keyboard and mouse are predominantly part of the computer, So a computer can still exist without a keyboard and a mouse, but a computer cannot exist without CPU, because CPU can be called as the heart and mind of a computer. So therefore this is integral to the computer, whereas these are the accessories. You can still use a computer without any of this, but you cannot use a computer without this. So we can categorize keyboard, mouse and digital pen as external accessories, whereas this is the integrated part of a computer. So CPU, or option A, would be the odd man out. Next, choose the word which is not similar. Once again, the same category of question. We have a cup, a mug, a glass and a jug. Now this is slightly confusing. I wish Institute doesn't ask these type of questions, because everything here is a container of liquid, but what separates them is nothing but the size. Cup, mug and glass, they are all containers of small to medium size, whereas jug is a large container. So that is the only thing which is separating jug from the rest. So therefore jug would be the odd man out. Moving on, a correct clock shows 10 o'clock in the morning. Through how many degrees will the hour hand rotate when the clock shows 4 o'clock in the afternoon? So if you consider this as the clock, so then let's say, so now this is the clock. We have 12 here, 6 here, 9 here and 3 here. Right now the clock is somewhat like this. So now they say from 10 to 4. So 4 would be somewhere here, straight opposite to 10. So let's say this is 1 and this is 2. This hour hand has to travel all the way and reach 4. So in that journey, how many degrees would it have covered? That is the question. So if you have already studied the clock topic, you know for sure that in 1 hour, from 10 to 11 and from 11 to 12, the hour handle moves 30 degree. Because if you look at this entire circle, that would be 360 degree. And since there are 12 hours, so 360 by 12 would be 30 degree. That means for every 1 hour, it moves 30 degree. So now how many hours should it move to reach 4 o'clock? That would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. Since it has to cover halfway, it has to move 6 hours to cover, or rather reach 4 o'clock. So 6 hours into 30 degrees per hour will get us 180 degrees. So therefore in this case we can easily say the clock would have to cover 180 degrees to move from 10 to 4. That was easy. Let's move to the next one, again related to clocks. An accurate clock shows 11 o'clock in the morning. Through how many degrees will the hour hand rotate when the clock shows 7 o'clock in the evening? Very similar question, but let me still solve this. So let's consider this as 12, 6, 9 and 3. Now right now it is at 11. Okay. It has to reach 7, they say. Let this be 7. Okay. If we consider 1, 2, 4 and 5. We just now saw that for every hour, a clock, or rather the hour handle, moves 30 degree. So now from 11 it has to reach 7. That would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 hours. So it has to move 8 hours to reach from 11 to 7. So every hour we know it moves 30 degrees. So 30 multiplied by 8, it will be 240 degrees. So 240, or option D, is the right answer in this case. Let's move to a different type of question wherein we have alphabetical series. We have A, B, C. After that we have E, F, G. Straight away we can notice that D is the missing character here. After E, F, G we do not have H, but instead we have I, J, K. Then we do not have L, but instead we have M, N, O. The next series will also skip one alphabet like it has been done throughout so far. P will be missing. The next series would be QRS. So therefore, the right answer in this case would be option D, QRS, wherein one alphabet or every fourth alphabet is skipped and the remaining three letters are written. So D is skipped, H is skipped, L, P. So therefore, we end up with QRS. Next, what will come in place of question mark? They say this is a number series, a very simple one at that. 12, 25. Okay, then there is a question mark. This is what we have to identify. Then we have 103 and 207. Though it looks like random numbers, there is some kind of relationship between each of these. So now the first thing which we need to identify here is, how did 12 end up as 25? How did 103 end up as 207? So now from 12 to 25, which is the closest number, obviously 24, we know that 12 multiplied 2 times would be 24. And if you add 1 to that, we will get 25. That we know. So now let us try to do the same thing for the rest of the numbers. 25 by 2, or rather 25 multiplied by 2 would be 50. If you add 1, you will get 51. Hopefully our missing number. Let me continue assuming this is our missing number. 51 multiplied by 2 would be 102. 102 plus 1 would be 103, which is already present in the series. So therefore, 51 is in fact the right answer. That would be option C. Moving on. Arrange the words given below in a meaningful sequence. So the key here is meaningful sequence. There should be some kind of meaning in the sequence. So we are looking at some logical sequence, start to finish. Now we have tree, chair, logs and wood. So straight away we can notice that chair would be the end product. That is something which we already know. So now chair is option 2 or number 2 in the sequence, which is already given in the question. So if chair is the end product, look at the options where 2 is at the end. So now which option has 2 in the end? Only the option A, that is 1342 has 2 at the end of the series. Simply click that. That's it. You don't even have to look at the other options, but this is a shortcut which we have to use in the exam because we'll have to save time on these type of questions so that we can invest time on those questions where time is definitely required. Now, if at all you want to actually look at the sequence, it will be like this. First of all, we need a tree. From the tree, we will have logs, and from the logs, the wood is made out, and wood results in chair. So this would be the meaningful sequence. Instead of going through all of this, straight away look at option A, because 2 is the last one here, 2 being chair. It makes sense. In rest of the options, we do not have 2 anyway, so that you can simply select option A as the answer. Next one. Arrange the words given below in a meaningful sequence from higher code to subordinate code. Okay, we should start from the highest code. Highest code obviously is Supreme Court. So that would come first. Okay. So now let us look at where the Supreme Court is. Supreme Court is number 4. Now let us look at the options which start with number 4. We have only one option. Once again, it is A. Simply select that. You don't even have to look at any of the other options, because in the question itself there's very clearly given higher court to subordinate court, which is the highest court in India, that is Supreme Court. So which is that number 4 represents Supreme Court in the question. So simply click on option A. Of course, we can check the rest of the things. After Supreme Court, we have High Court. After that, we have District Court. Then we have Judicial Magistrate First Class and Judicial Magistrate Second Class. So if you look at this, this would be 4, then 2, DC is 1, Judicial Magistrate 1 would be 3, Judicial Magistrate 2 would be 5. That's it. So option 1 or option A is in fact the right answer. Once again, we have a similar question. Arrange the words given below in a meaningful sequence. What comes first and what comes next? That's it. So obviously seed would be the first thing. From the seed we get the plant, from the plant we have the tree, and from the tree we have the fruit. That's it. Whichever option corresponds to this particular order, simply select it. Obviously option A and B are the only options which start with seed as the first one. After that we have plant. Plant is number 4. So it will be 1, 4, tree is 3, and fruit is 2. 1, 4, 3, 2 corresponds to option B. So therefore option B is in fact the right answer. This brings us to the end of the first part. The second part will be uploaded tomorrow. If you have any doubts with respect to the questions which we solved just now, please do leave a comment below. And if you liked the video and if you thought it was helpful, please do subscribe to our channel Ekcel Academy and like this video as well. Thank you.